I'd like to call the July 19th school committee to order. Would everybody please stand and pledge allegiance to the flag? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dr. Lancia, roll call.
Odelia Harmon. Mike Popovic.
Present.
Veronica Bates. I don't have my list in front of me. Steve Berry.
Here.
Noreen Poitras.
Here.
Vice Chair Suzanne Joyce.
Here.
Chair Jim Violet.
Here.
And our students are on vacation.
All right. In your packets, you have the minutes of the June 21st, 2017 meeting. If there's no objections, we'll let the minutes stand as presented. Okay, you have communications in your packet. We don't have any student council reports because, as Dr. Lancia just mentioned, they are on vacation. So we'll move on to public participation where anybody can speak on any agenda item for a matter of 3 minutes. Is there anybody from the public that would wish to speak? Seeing none, we'll move on to the superintendent's report. Dr. Lancia.
Thank you. Just very briefly, two quick items. I think you remember at last month's school committee meeting, we mentioned that the Infinity Credit Union was giving us a piano, a grand piano, which is awesome. We are now looking to dispose of the current piano that's in our high school, and we're following the disposal policy, which sounds worse than it is, but this is how we eliminate things from our inventory. It's policy DN. It's currently housed at Westbrook High School. The finish is in fair condition. It's dark walnut with some visible scratches, no major damage, although refinishing is recommended. The piano plays fairly evenly. It's in good shape and needs some restorative work to be in top shape. We've offered it out to other schools. We've offered it out to the municipality as by policy, so now we'll be calling for a public bid at a price of $5,000 if anyone is interested in buying a baby grand piano. If not, we'll continue to go through our disposition policy for this instrument. The second thing we'll talk about a little bit later on in the agenda about the school construction project. We had an excellent bid opening yesterday that Dan Cecil will talk about when it comes up.
Thank you. And again, if we can go back to just 4 really quickly, just one minor adjustment. If we go to item number 16, excuse me, we're going to adjourn to executive session because there's no reason for us to come back. So what we'll do is adjourn and then go into executive session. So we'll move on to committee reports. Mike.
Nothing at this time.
Sue?
Nothing at this time.
Steve? No. Maureen?
Nothing.
No? Okay, we'll move on to old business. Request to approve the short-term disability policy for employees, action item, final approval. What are the wishes of the committee? It's been moved by Mike, seconded by Noreen. Questions or comments from members of the public? Again, as I mentioned, I will be abstaining from this item since my partner is the one that's quoting the insurances. So, seeing no other questions, all those in favor? Opposed? That is 4-0 with 1 abstention. 12, new business, teacher nominations. 12.1.1, a grade 5 teacher, 1 year only, Westbrook Middle School. What are the wishes of the Mike?
I'd like to move to take 12.1.1, grade 5 teacher, 1 year only, Westbrook Middle School. 12.1.2, grade 5 teacher, Westbrook Middle School. 12.1.3, grade 5 teacher, Westbrook Middle School. 12.1.4, halftime guidance counselor, Congdon School. 12.1.5, special ed teacher, Westbrook High School. 12.1.6, special ed teacher, Sacarapa School. 12.1.7, grade 5 teacher, 1 year only, Westbrook Middle School. And 12.1.8, special education teacher, Westbrook Middle School in the aggregate.
Thank you. It's been moved by Mike. Is there a second? Seconded by Sue. Would anyone like any one of these taken out for separate discussion? And again, if there's no problems, I'll just read the names into the record, Mike. Again, 12.1 grade 5 teacher would be Emily Cox. 12.1.2 grade 5 teacher at Westbrook Middle School, Jane Fund. 12.1.3 grade 5 teacher at the middle school, Christine Bradbury. 12.1.4 halftime guidance counselor at Congdon School, Christine Woolworth. 12.1.5 the special ed teacher, Raymond Dunn. 12.1.6 the special ed teacher, Jesse Arujo. 12.1.7, grade 5 teacher Hannah Johnston, and 12.1.8, special ed teacher at the middle school, Samantha Baxter. Any questions? Yes.
I do. So, besides the current fifth grade teachers, which are how many?
In the past school year, there were 8?
8 fifth grade teachers?
Yes.
We're adding another
2.
2 full and 2 for 1 year.
We're adding 2 one-year positions, so there were 2 fifth grade resignations over the course
Oh.
of the year, so we're replacing those 2. And there are 2 one-year only positions because of enrollment.
Okay.
Any other
Thank you.
questions? Seeing none, it's been moved by Mike, seconded by Sue. All those in favor? Opposed? That is 4 in favor, none opposed. 5, excuse me. Yeah, 5, 5-0. 12.2, request to accept the bids for the school expansion project. What are the wishes of the committee? It's been moved by Noreen, seconded by Mike. And what I'll do is I'll turn it over to the superintendent, and then he'll turn it over to Dan just to talk about the bid process yesterday.
Thank you. I'll pass down the row a copy of the...
We have them all.
Do you have a copy of the
Yeah.
bid document?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Oh, great, it's right there. You got the big version, not the blinding version. So we did have the bid opening yesterday on schedule. There were 3 bidders in the process. 5 contractors had been asking questions during the last month, but only 3 bids came in. And we're pleased to say that Art Dudley Construction was the lowest bidder, and the total bid was in the amount of, where am I, $19,020,000, with all of the alternates at a cost of, at a bid of $453,736, for a total bid with alternates at $19,473,736. Our construction project budget is $22,355,595. So that bid is well under the proposed construction cost. In fact, all 3 bids were under the construction cost. But we're pleased to say that this bid was very favorable. Art Dudley has been in the construction business for a very long time, has built a number of schools in the greater Portland area, as well as throughout the state, including the Wentworth School in Scarborough, as well as the Geiger School in Lewiston. They're working on one of the schools in Portland right now, rebuilding the Hall School in Portland. All reports are that this is a fantastic company to work with. They do meticulous work. They are on schedule. They come very highly regarded. So I think we're very pleased. I know I'm very pleased that this was the result of the bidding process. Tonight, the school committee will need to authorize in first reading to accept this bid. There is a letter of intent that that Harriman will send.
He's passed it out, so we
Okay.
have it. Yep.
And we are able to issue that letter. We checked with our attorneys this morning, who said that we're able to send that letter saying that it's our intent, based upon school committee's final authorization, to approve this bid. And then once the second reading is held, and the school committee will meet Monday night to hear that as a second reading, we will be able to sign contracts and we'll be able to move forward with the projects. Dan, is there anything else that you wanted to mention to them or explain?
Yeah, you covered almost all of it. The other thing I'd like to talk about is the alternates. If you look at the 11 by 17 that you have in front of you, on the lower left-hand side in the first column, it says alternates 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, alternates are prices that you ask a contractor for during the bid period, which you can either accept or reject. In other words, it's something that you'd like to have. It's a way to provide a cushion against high bids, which was not your case, as it turned out, luckily. But what we'd like to propose is that going forward, you obviously accept the base bid, and then you need to decide whether or not you would accept any or all of the alternates. Alternate number 1 for $221,000 is to re-roof the pitched roof section of the existing building at the existing Sacarapa. And that roof is close to being at the end of its tenure. If you look at it closely, it's wearing out. Oh, come on in. It's wearing out, and so you'll probably never get a better price for it than doing it as part of a big construction project. You'll get some economies of scale. Alternate number 2 is the existing Sakurapa building window replacement. Those windows are original to the 1992 edition, and they're not as energy efficient and as they would be today. So for $204,000, you could replace those. You're already going to get new windows in the new wing, but again, now is a good time to take care of those windows. You should see some increases in energy efficiency as a result of that. Alternate number 3, middle school door leaf replacements. There are 14 doors in the existing middle school that are made out of wood that have warped, probably from humidity at some point in the past. And they're in very, very busy places, such as some of the doors going into the gymnasium. So those doors get a huge amount of tension on them all the time, and we've been told that some of the doors have closers that are pulling out and hinges that aren't working properly. So we were asked to put that in here. It wasn't in the original budget, but for $21,500 you would get all of those existing doors replaced, and we're proposing to replace them with painted metal doors. They'll be painted the dark blue, the same dark blue as your door frames throughout the building, so that you won't have any problems with a wooden door in the future. Alternate number 4, middle school mechanical upgrades. This is one of the things that we're working on with the mechanical system at the middle school is to adjust the controls. The controls is the computer program that tells everything in the building when to come on and when to go off on the mechanical system. So you have heat pumps in the building. The heat pumps each have a pair of compressors inside of them that provide heating and cooling. This would be a change to the control sequencing that tells those heat pumps when to come on and off. That should improve their energy efficiency and make them last longer. So again, since you had a big project coming up, we'll go ahead and roll that in, because that's an easy thing to have done. It's only $6,150. So the total of those 4 alternates, if you were to accept them, would be $453,736. And as Peter said, even with those alternates, you're substantially under budget.
Maureen, would you have any objections with Mike if to make it formal, that we include alternates 1 through 4 in that motion?
Yep, we should do that.
Okay, you're fine. Okay. Any questions for Dan? Okay. Again, hopefully the idea is Monday we will have a meeting here at 5 o'clock, so hopefully we can get a quorum so that we can do second reading specifically on this, so that hopefully people can get their equipment on the grounds and start the construction project. So
Is that in lieu of next Wednesday's meeting? We're doing Monday instead, or is there also a meeting next Wednesday?
no, there's no meeting next Wednesday.
No
Yeah.
meeting
so
next
just
Wednesday.
Monday.
No meeting next Wednesday. No, as you'll see in the calendar, we have our first official, on August 16th, our first official school meeting of the year. But again, that's on your agenda. So seeing no more questions, have been moved by Noreen, seconded by Mike, to accept the bids for the school expansion project to include alternates 1 through 4. All those in favor? Opposed? That is 5 in favor, none opposed. 12.3, request to hire an additional ELL teacher at the Westbrook Middle School, action item first approval. What are the wishes of the committee? It's been moved by Mike, seconded by Steve. Okay, and I'll just ask Dr. Lancet to explain the request.
Yes. We've been monitoring our enrollment of our ELLs, our English language learners, throughout the district, throughout the year. And we've seen quite a spiked increase in the number of students at the middle school. We're projecting 16 additional ELLs to be enrolling at the middle school, many of them coming up from the 4th grade into the middle level. And we've had a number of children enroll at all of our schools throughout the school year. So I am requesting at this time that we hire an additional ELL teacher to support the students at the middle school, to support their programming. One of the needs that we're identifying is that there are some very intense early language acquisition needs which require pretty intensive work. Students who are very new to the country with very little English, who need some very targeted support, which is why we're asking for a teacher as opposed to asking for an ed tech for that position. So,
And the funds will come from the additional subsidies that we just got from the state. You know, I am happy to report to taxpayers that we got an additional $907,000. One of the stipulations was to give half of that back to the taxpayers. We met with the city earlier this week, and we were able to mention to them that we can apply $453,000 to reduce the tax rate. So the 5.1%, I guess, is going to be around a 2.6% tax rate increase because, again, the city also got additional revenues. So, you know, again, we're really happy to report to taxpayers that we listen to the wishes of the state, and you know, we're trying to keep the tax rate as low as possible. So we have $453,000. We don't have that much money. There is seed money, and if you need explanations, I'll have Dr. Lancey explain what seed money is. Well, actually, he does have. I'll pass it out. As you can see, you know, with the seed money, the 17 main care seed costs and the 18 budget seed costs, we still have $183,000 that we'll be expecting to come from the state. And so Dr. Lance's request is that the cost of that position will come out of this $180,000. So there's no impact to taxpayers. You know, hopefully that'll give us, hopefully, again, what would you expect? Probably a 50 to 60,000 with benefits.
typically, that's typical.
Yeah.
That's an average.
So, you know, that'll give us at least another 120,000 if we run into emergencies during the school year. You know, we have 120,000 that we have access to. So that's where the money for this position will come from. So if there's any questions on seed costs or the position itself or what we just handed out, Sue?
On the 453,000, why can't we keep half then? The 50%?
We are. Those
I thought
nine.
you said we're keeping more, we're not keeping 50%, we're giving them, because we're only, right here, it says 180.
Right. 453 went to the city.
Uh-huh.
453 came to the schools. So
Right.
that's the 50-50. So we met what the state was requiring. But we had seed costs, which is our cost. Dr. Lancer, why don't you explain the seed costs so that, again,
Seed costs have to do with Medicare, funding, main care funding that comes into the schools. The state reduces our general purpose aid by those amounts. So even though we are receiving, out of the 907, we're receiving 453, the city's receiving 453, or we're giving the city, you're giving the city 453, we have to back out those two seed costs, the costs from the last school year, FY17, as well as the projected costs for FY18. These are estimates of what the seed cost is for FY18 based on past years. But when you back out those two costs, that's how we come to the $180,000.
But can't that come out of the 50% that we're giving the city instead? Isn't that allowed?
It could be allowed under the way that you passed your warrants. There's some interpretation of what the law means, and that interpretation has just been released in the last 24 hours. When you and the city passed the warrants, you passed a warrant to be able to appropriate extra money that's received any additional general purpose aid. That would allow you to allocate a certain portion of the money for tax relief or not. Our proposal is that you allocate 50% of that full 907 for tax relief, which would leave us responsible for those main seed costs out of our half of the allocation.
But we don't have to do that. I mean, I guess I'm just looking at that this money is allocated to us, like you said, and that we only have to give, we don't have to give 50% or the entire 50%, right?
That's the
I'm trying to
current
figure this out.
interpretation of the law, which has been it's been an interesting couple of weeks watching how this legislation has come out. And our attorneys, as well as the Department of Education, have clarified that if you had passed the warrant, as you did, that additional warrant, you would not necessarily be bound to that 50%. However, like I said, that's our recommendation, is that we stick to the 50% for tax relief.
Again, I think what happens, Sue,
I'm
is
just trying to understand, it's
Yeah.
maybe this slow.
No,
So-
it's confusing.
no, I think if we had gotten that money earlier, you know, that would have covered some of the costs, and again, probably, you know, our rates would have been lower initially. We wouldn't have had as high of a tax rate increase. So I think it's behind the 8 ball, or the
Right.
cart is ahead of the horse here, because of how this has all unfolded. But again, if we had that money during budget time, we wouldn't have had a tax rate increase
Right.
from our end. And that's what's happening here. And again, you know, the 170 for the 18, that's money that we're keeping, but it's just going to be allocated to the 2018 budget. So,
Okay. All right, thank you.
any other questions on 12.3, the hiring of the additional ELL teacher? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? That is 5 in favor, none opposed. And 12.4, request to allocate the additional fiscal year 18 GPA funding to the approved Westbrook School Department budget. So, okay, so let me pass this down, and whoever makes the motion will have to read the motion. No problem. Again,
I
just,
did enough talking already.
so who would like to do it?
Mike?
Mike? Okay, go ahead,
I
Mike.
guess I'd like to do it. All right. Motion, I move that the vote entitled Vote Regarding Disposition of Additional State Subsidy be adopted in form presented to this meeting. Vote regarding disposition of additional state subsidy. Whereas Articles 2017-44, as approved at the May 8th, 2017 City Council meeting and the June 13th, 2017 Budget Validation Referendum, authorizes the school committee of the Westbrook School Department to use all or part of any additional state subsidy received after approval of the school budget to 1. Increase expenditures for school purposes in cost center categories approved by the school committee. 2. Increase the allocation of finances in a reserve fund approved by the school committee. And or 3. Decrease the local cost share expectation as defined in Title 20-A, Section 15671-A, parentheses 1, parentheses B, for local property tax papers for funding public education as approved by the school committee. Whereas, as reported on the Maine Department of Education ED 279 report for funding public education dated July 12, 2017, the Westbrook School Department has received additional state subsidy in the amount of $907,782.28. Whereas, pursuant to Public Law 2017, Chapter 284, Section JJJJJJ-5, and related guidance from the Maine Department of Education, the school committee is authorized to use the additional state subsidy as authorized by Article 6. Now, therefore, the school committee of the Westbrook School Department votes to allocate the additional state subsidy as follows: $453,891.14 to reduce the education tax assessment for the 2017-2018 fiscal year, $180,783.14 to increase the allocation of funds to reserve fund for instruction, $273,108 to increase the 2017-2018 appropriation for special education estimated seed costs.
Okay, that's been moved by Mike. Is there a second to that? Steve? Again, questions or comments concerning this? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? That is 5 in favor, none opposed. Brings us to important dates. We do have a school committee meeting next Monday, 5 o'clock, here in room 114. August 2nd at 6 p.m., we have a finance committee meeting at central office. August 16th at 7 p.m., our school committee meeting here in room 114. August 28th through the 29th is Professional Development Day. August 30th is the first day of school for grades 1 through 9. August 31st is school day for grades 1 through 12 and the vocational center. September 1st, no school, central office will be open. 4th is Labor Day, no school, central office will be closed. September 5th is the first day of school for kindergarten. September 6th, we have a finance committee meeting at 5 p.m. at central office. And September 11th is the first day of school for pre-kindergarten. This brings us to our second public participation, where anybody can speak on any school-related matter. Is there anybody from the public that would wish to speak? Yes. July 29th. Oh,
That should be
that should have been the
24.
25th. Is Monday the?
Monday is the 24th.
Should
Oh,
be Monday.
thank you.
Whatever
Yeah.
Monday is.
All
Thanks, John.
right.
Just want to make sure I'm here on the right day.
Not, no problem.
24.
And look at that, it's our new administrator out of all of us that picked that up. So, see, he's just right on target here. He's focused. No, thank you. Any other comments? Any announcements? Seeing none, I request to adjourn into executive session to discuss the superintendent's evaluation pursuant to 1 MRSA 4056A. The executive session will include the Westbrook School Committee and the superintendent. Action item, final approval. So moved by Noreen, seconded by Mike. All those in favor? We are adjourned to executive session.